I had to give a smooch to my wife for good luck before I got started today. Whew. Got here just in the nick of time. All right, there's a brewing controversy in Indianapolis, Indiana. We'll talk about that during the second hour. Myles Garrett to the Rams. Is that a good move or a bad move? And of course, we'll talk all things Stanley Cup final. Carolina has evened the series after a furious comeback last night. And tonight, game 2 of the NBA World Championship Series, which yours truly will have the call for tonight. And all my rowdy friends will be here, including the token female, Allison Moran. And I may have a couple of surprises up my sleeve. On your mark, get set. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning. Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up. I got to thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Cause we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Can we please send those seals to hell?
Unfortunately, no.
Damn it. I tried.
I tried to. Good morning, and welcome one and all to the fabulous, fantastic football Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have you all with us. This first hour is powered by Invader Coffee, fuel for the fearless. The dog is here. Vicala is here. Deet Stradamus is standing by. And I got a question of the day to open things up, to open up the shop here.
I say let's not waste any more time.
Let's do it. What do you got?
My question is this, and it's based on my beautiful wife. What's your go-to donut?
Oh, that's a good one.
Boston cream.
Buttermilk. Either buttermilk or the old-fashioned donut.
You know what? I loved cake donuts for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I met Jody.
Oh, here's one. Snowman, since you and I were in CPS for a while, the Chicago Public Schools, the Super Donut.
Oh my God.
Okay. For me, I'll give you my two. Either a Boston cream or a chocolate claw.
You know what, Shane? I hate you for bringing that up.
Wait, a chocolate what, Shane?
Claw.
Oh,
Chocolate
like a bear
claw.
Like a bear claw?
Yep. You know, when we lived in North Carolina, I would go get us donuts some mornings.
Mm-hmm.
And then the gas station that was my go-to introduced the all double chocolate claw.
Okay. So now I have this question.
Oh, hell.
I have this question.
Yes.
Which one would you rather have? A donut like the double chocolate claw, or a Mega Cinnabon?
Option C,
Neither.
both.
Oh, both. I can't have either one, but
I can't. I can't either. But
there's there's something about Cinnabons.
we talked about this before.
Yes.
And before we go any further, I had someone ask me why I'm starting at 11 instead of 10. I'm under doctor's care for the time being,
Gotcha.
and some appointments may run long. That's why I've moved the show to 11 o'clock. Hopefully, by the fall, we'll be back at 10 and we'll be going 3 hours. Okay. Me and Cinnabon have a love-hate relationship
Mm-hmm.
because I made a critical mistake one day at Evergreen Plaza.
Wait. What year was this?
This was 1992.
I was like, I've never seen Cinnabon in Evergreen Plaza, but then again, we stopped going in '92. But I will.
There was one day
Uh,
I hit the two major malls in 1992.
okay.
I hit Evergreen Plaza
Mm-hmm.
and I hit Ford City.
Ford City on 79th.
Yes. Now, what did I do at Evergreen Plaza? KFC and Cinnabon,
Oh, God, love KFC.
which put me in half of a coma.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of going home
Uh-huh.
and laying my crazy ass down,
Right.
I decided I'm going to get me some more exercise and I'm going to go to Ford City. Why the hell did I do that?
Don't know.
Because at Ford City,
Mm-hmm.
there was a pizza place Victor and I know and frequent very well called Sparrow,
Oh, Sbarro. Yeah.
which if you get their stuffed pizza, the fillings was falling off of the thing onto the plate
And sometimes falling out of the plate.
and falling off the plate. Yes. See, Evergreen Plaza was a warm up that day. Ford City knocked me cold.
Ford City was like the main event.
Ford City was the main event because not
Now-
only did I go to the food court,
Mm-hmm.
which had Sparrow and Cinnabon and a couple of other ice cream places.
Well, I'll give you one. Do you remember the place Miss Snack?
Oh, God, yes.
The second floor, right outside the Montgomery Ward area.
Yes.
Was a place called Miss Snack.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm gonna ask the dog.
Yes, sir.
What is the usual large size for an icy?
For an icy,
Yep.
wouldn't it be like something like 20 ounces or so, maybe a bit more?
Yeah, not theirs. Theirs was like from 32, and then they had the giant, which was 42 ounces.
Damn, that's a brain freeze waiting to happen.
And you got either the cherry, the blue raspberry,
Yep.
or
Yep.
the Coke version of an icy. But what got to me was their nachos, because they proceed to give you a bowl,
Yep.
and they would just pile on almost like a pound of chips,
Yep.
and then drizzle cheese for days.
And days. And days.
And days.
Well, here's the mistake I made when I went to Ford City.
What did you do?
Normally, a person can handle only one slice
Of pizza.
of pizza
You
and
ate
only
two.
half a slice of a stuffed pizza.
Mhm. You ate 2.
No,
You ate 3.
3.
3.
And then,
Then, I mean, there's more.
I coupled it with Cinnabon.
Oh boy.
Thanksgiving food coma has nothing on this.
Some people say
No.
the best things. Nope. Listen, they say the best things happen in threes.
It does not.
3 slices of stuffed Sparrow's pizza, and it was the meat lovers special.
Oh, that's where you went wrong in the
Not
first
1,
place.
not
Yep.
2,
3.
but 3 large Cinnabons.
Oh my god.
Hot
Ye-
of the oven.
This ain't a food coma. This is a food death.
Man.
And I saw them. Victor has seen it, and I have seen it when they bring them fresh out of the oven and they drizzle the icing on the Cinnabon.
Mhm.
Yep, game over. That's it. That's a wrap. It's game over, man.
Exactly.
So I
Exactly.
tried walking off the pizza by going to Tilt, which is the arcade.
And that's on the far north side. That's on the
that's
far east side
far
of the building.
east side of the building.
Mhm.
Why did I do that?
I don't know. I don't know why you got
With
3 Cinnabon.
3 hot, steaming Cinnabons with me. And you're right, Ryan. That's when my spirit left my body, Your Honor. Because I walked around Tilt while playing games
Mhm.
and killed every single Cinnabon.
Yep.
I left nothing to chance, and I left nothing in the box.
No.
By the time I got on the bus to go home, and Mr. McCarthy, this is for you. Dead.
Yeah. Dad.
Rip.
Hey, David
When
understands
this-
the assignment when it comes to Super Donuts.
Oh, listen.
I mean,
Super Donuts is why I grew to be 6'4" and 225 by the time I graduated, okay?
yep. And it always happened at breakfast. You would get like either some scrambled eggs or sausage,
Yep.
or God help you
Yep.
if they brought up pancakes.
Which they
Hey,
usually did
Hey,
in high
6'4",
school.
220. Hey, man, 6'4", 225 ain't nothing to sneeze at. I was 6'4", 200 when I graduated.
You get the idea.
Yup.
I would get like the 3 pancakes, 2 sausage patties, and I would get, because I knew it was gonna be a while before we had lunch, so I would get
Yes.
3 Super Donuts.
That's about what I did. And they microwave those bitches.
They microwaved them.
And they
They-
microwave those bitches.
Microwave them.
Yes.
That's rude. That's
Yes.
rudeness on a spoon.
That's rude. That's wrong. And it was delicious.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
It was. Listen, I would get those Super Donuts.
Victor, that's not rude on a spoon. That's rude, crude, and lewd on a spoon.
That's true. That's
Yes,
very
it
true.
is. Yes, it
That's
is.
very true.
Listen, I'd do the same thing Victor does because I knew it would be a while before I would get lunch.
Right.
Okay. And senior year, I couldn't get the Super Donuts the way I wanted because I started my day at Chicago State at Project Challenge.
Mhm.
So a friend of mine came up with a scheme. The friend of
Right.
mine worked in the lunchroom. The friend of mine recognized me. The friend of mine said, I will keep some Super Donuts for you until you return. Then she gave me the warning. Don't eat them all at once.
And what did you do?
Warning falls on deaf
I,
ears.
ki-
Yes.
I killed every single one of them within 10 minutes.
Of course you did.
You know when you have a whole bunch of sugar
Yep.
and
And then
you're
you crash.
flying around and you're doing great?
Yep.
By the time 7th period came to me, wham!
Crash.
So basically, me on 4 monsters. Got it.
Yes. Or me.
I go to my
on
7th
Power
period.
Energy.
I go to my 7th period class, flying high as a kite.
Mhm.
By the time I walked out of that SOB,
Again. Dead.
by the time I walked out of my 7th period class, I was dragging more ass than Geno Smith after a sack.
Oh my God. There's no Napoleon. So
I feel bad
Get
for
to
the
eighth
Jets this
and I,
season.
and I had eighth period was Spanish for me.
oh no.
Now and Senora Johnson was fun. Fun. You okay? Fun. Okay, she made the class fun. Okay, she would find games for us to play.
Mhm.
And I never fell asleep in Spanish class until one day
Yup.
when I had 3 of those super donuts and lunch on top of that. I got to Spanish class, and the mistake of all mistakes, I sat down.
You sat down.
Rip.
And Senora Johnson called me twice, and
And you
I
didn't hear
didn't
it.
move.
Right?
I didn't hear a damn thing.
I heard nothing.
That
Whole
chainsaw be
class
buzzing.
laughing at me. Look. I was sawing 2 chainsaws, okay?
Right?
Wait a minute, you were sawing Kirk Cousins? What the hell?
I was
Chainsaw,
sawing
not
2
chains.
chains. I was sawing 2 chainsaws, okay? And Playmaker, I see your messages, and it ain't
Yeah,
gonna
I
happen,
see it.
okay? Although I love Braden Fisk. He was an offensive lineman for Michigan City High School. I remember him.
I already see Playmaker gloating. Already.
That didn't take long.
No, of course not.
Now, I get to Spanish class. I sat down and I was out like a light.
Yeah.
Senora Johnson called me twice. I didn't budge.
You're out.
She woke me up. The class was over and she said, "You missed everything." I did. And I'm
Yeah.
groggier than all get out.
Like, I sure did. Not by choice.
She's cracking up.
Right.
She's cracking up. And she says, "How much did you eat?" "Too damn much."
Way too much.
She says, "How much sugar did you have?" I said, "May I make a confession?" She says, "Go ahead." I had 3 super donuts. She's like, "Go home. Go home. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Go
Go
home.
home." And luckily that day, my 9th period class was canceled. I had enough strength in me to not walk home, but run home. I raced home. I raced upstairs. I dropped my bag and passed completely out.
I had a simple do not pass go story. Did not involve food, but involved blood, honestly.
Oh,
Be very
Okay.
I was taking a nasal spray, and apparently the nasal spray I was using was not the one out. That was not the. They gave me the wrong one, basically.
oh
So I take it
dear.
every morning. So I went,
Mhm.
sniff one side, sniff the other side. Now I'm in school. Now I'm rolling through school. We get to
Yeah.
English, and I'm like, oh my god, my nose is running. And it's I'm embarrassed, like my nose is running and I don't have any tissue or nothing.
Right.
And all of a sudden, my teacher looks at me and his eyes grow wide. Okay. My girlfriend at the time is like, tears are pouring down her face. And I'm like, what is wrong with you guys? And they're like, Victor, your nose. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. My nose is running. And I just wipe my nose and I look down and my hand is red. Now, inside my brain, I am screaming bloody murder.
Yes.
All
Yes.
I can think to say,
yes.
All I can think I would say is, that's a lot of blood. That's all I can say. Is like, that's a lot of blood.
Mm-hmm.
If you said you need to go to the nurse right now, okay. I tell her what happens. She sees the blood. She says, "Okay, this is an order. This is not negotiable. You have some money, yeah. Go home.
Go home.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Just go home. Because that's a lot of blood." So like you, I went home and passed out.
Passed completely out.
Woke up. My mom is furious at the doctor.
For me, that would be my dad.
Furious at the doctor because they had to know that this is the wrong medicine.
Right.
So they gave me the correct medicine and never charged me for it ever. But the fact that my girlfriend was crying because of so much blood coming out of my nose, she thought I was going to bleed out the nose.
Oh, Jesus. We can share so many more stories like that,
Yes,
but we got to get down. We got to get down to business. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, Deets will be here, and I'm going to laugh at Playmaker at the same time.
Okay.
And also, there's a brewing controversy in Indianapolis, Indiana. Or is there?
Oh, brother.
I think the media is at it again.
Fake news.
Why are we not surprised?
Of course. Of course. All that and more. The Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning continues in a deuce.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high-potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play. Nerd Focus. Smarter than energy.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE. Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central. Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text. Delete!
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels. Cause we take this job so serious.
Put somebody in the middle of the field. Like, it's not hard.
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Madden be cheating.
Apparently for Dallas, it's very hard to do.
Well, for Matt Uberfuls, it was hard to do.
Yeah, true.
But don't worry, he's not the assistant coach over at San Fran, so we ain't got to worry about it.
Oh, yes, you do.
No, we don't.
Rip.
We ain't got to worry about it. That's y'all problem now.
No, it's not our problem. Because he ain't touching the defense.
That sounds like an issue, not an ish me.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, at the same time, he's not going to have to worry about timeouts either. So
Nope. All right, 20.
What happens if the head coach? What happens if the head coach does like get sick or has to like leave in mid-season? Who takes over?
We're not going to worry about that.
Because he knows the answer.
Actually, the answer would be Raheem Morris, our defensive coordinator.
Okay. Because I'm gonna say it'd be the assistant coach.
Answer would be Raheem Morris.
Okay.
And I still forgot to get.
Before we bring in Dietz, boss, I got a real quick question for you.
Okay.
No.
What's San Francisco's biggest fear? The Rams front line or Bowie Knife 99?
Neither.
Oh God.
Neither.
Let's get my man Dietz in here.
And you know why? You know why I say neither. And this is me taking a playful shot at playmaker because I know the season's not here yet. Because we're gonna kick both their asses.
Okay.
What's sad is I bring in a meme.
I am not worried.
Hey.
I am not worried about Myles Garrett going to the Rams. At all. I'm looking dead in this camera. I would say give me this camera, but I already got the camera. I'm not worried. Now, will I be come September? Yes.
Probably.
Will I be shaking in my shoes come September? Yes. But I'm ready for. But the Purdy gonna be buried alive. No, he's not.
Australia.
I love the fact I bring in.
I think Purdy's
99 and I get shut down.
I think Purdy's gonna burn the Rams for 300. But that's a lot. That's a lot of mess. We can talk in 2 months' time.
Right.
We got something important to talk about, and we need some help.
Passionate.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
Unflinching.
Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier.
Unrelenting.
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight.
Totally.
This one has a chance.
Dietz.
That's not just a murmur, that's a full-blown fibrillation.
Hey, brother and sister, right there together again.
Morning, my friend.
Hey, yeah, I figure we needed some extra help on the set, so we got Lydia here to
Yep,
to help us out.
All right, Deets.
But I did find before we get going, I did find something, and I
What'd
hope
you
he's
find?
still in the chat. But y'all see this?
Oh, Raiders.
Raiders running back
Napoleon Kaufman.
Yep.
I believe that's who that is. That's
and
Napoleon.
who's our resident Raider fan?
Napoleon Jonamite.
Hey, there you go. And so I was looking through. I was like, hey, it's a Raider, and then I was like, oh, his name's. I was like, hey, it's Napoleon.
Right.
So
that
I found that for Napoleon.
Good.
Man,
all right, let's get down. Let's get down to it. Let's get down to it.
All right.
Deet sent me 2 clips. One from Jason Whitlock.
Oh God.
And I have a few other names for him.
Boom trash.
The second
Why is
from
this trigger word?
Dan. The second from Dan Dockich.
Dan Dockich.
Oh Lord.
And I am going to weigh in, and this is very personal to me.
Okay.
Dan Dockich, shut your mouth.
What did he say? Caleb Williams?
No. What he said
a lot. He said a lot of He said a lot of things in that clip.
Gotcha.
And most of it, I'll say most of it, pissed me off.
The whole thing should have. The whole premise of it is absolutely insane.
Yeah. It's asinine. Here's the premise for Mr. One Dan Dockich, who was so afraid to guard Michael Jordan, he threw up the night before. According to his inside sources, and I'm bristling as I say this, according to his inside sources, A, Caitlin Clark is a diva. B, Stephanie White is the smartest person there. And C, and this really blew my mind and pissed me off, they are looking to move Caitlin Clark.
Where did that come from?
Who in the Vita Blue, yellow-bellied, red-blooded hell wrote this script?
Some washed-up producer in Hollywood.
I'm gonna.
And the weirdest thing about this whole thing is, and everyone does this. Everyone who has sources like this does this. But what Dan Dockich doesn't understand is he threw every one of those sources, whoever that source is, threw them under the bus.
Yep.
By him, he says all these things that are absolutely insane. But
And
then
asinine.
but then to make himself sound more believable and you can trust me on this because it's not me saying this, it's my sources inside the fever. He just threw the entire organization under the bus. He just basically said they're having internal discussions about getting rid of possibly the greatest player in the history of the game. But definitely the greatest player in the history of the Indiana franchise. The person, and this is what doesn't make any sense, is no matter what you say about Caitlin Clark, no matter what you say about what she's doing, she is still the person people tune in for. She's the reason Indiana fills seats. She's the reason people go to watch. She's the reason people listen to Snowman's call on the game, because people want to hear what Caitlin Clark did. They want to hear. They want to watch what she's doing on the court. They want to see. They want to see it in person. Allie can speak to this more. I can't. But girls, little girls all over want to meet Caitlin Clark. They want to be Caitlin Clark. Okay, all of those things. And Indiana is having internal discussions on getting rid of her. That's absolutely insane. And he talks about how he's friends with the head coach. He's friends with the general manager. If those are coming from any of those two people, they need to be gone. They need to be gone. If there is a competent owner in there, those two people are gone immediately, because you are not getting rid. I can guarantee you this right now. If Stephanie White came in and tried to get Caitlin Clark moved, Stephanie White, the head coach, she wouldn't leave the locker room. Why?
Nope.
Because Sophie Cunningham would have something to say about it.
Yes, she
and
would.
Sophie Cunningham would throw fists if you tried to get Caitlin Clark off that team. Sophie Cunningham worked her way there through trade, re-signed with the team. Why? Because she enjoys playing with Caitlin Clark. You could see it when they play together. They enjoy being around each other. If you tried to move Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham would throw fists.
Here's the thing. Here's the other thing, though. If you do, from a business standpoint, if you decide tomorrow to move Caitlin Clark from the Indiana Fever, you're going to bury that team.
Yep.
You were going to.
No, I was just going to say, I can guarantee you, the next day, if they played the next day,
right?
If they traded her at 10 a.m. in the morning and the game was at 7 o'clock, I can guarantee you 50% of that stadium is full. 50% of that stadium is not showing up.
You know what?
They hear Caitlin Clark's not in the building. They're not going. And
I would say you probably would have one
proof of this. I can prove this with facts. Last year, when they rescheduled the Chicago Sky game to the United Center and sold out the stadium, they were selling out. They couldn't hold on to those tickets. They were flying out the door. Caitlin Clark is announced injured. Half the people showed up. Half the people that bought tickets didn't even go, because they were like, "We're not going to see Caitlin. We're out," and they didn't even show up to the stadium.
And I'll back it up with this: the two times that they did play at the United Center, the announced attendance. Now, listen to me carefully. The announced attendance was 19,911, which would constitute a sellout at the UC. There was not 19,000 people either time at the United Center.
No, because like I said, they sold out. They sold the tickets. The tickets were sold. So people bought them thinking Caitlin was going to be there. When they found out she was injured, people said, "No, we're not making that trip. We're not making that trip out to the stadium. We'll go do something else."
You would not even be a fan of Caitlin Clark, but you go to watch her play.
Yeah,
you'll go.
And I'll borrow from A Pizzle. They sold out the United Center 2 times.
It's like with MJ or Kobe or heck, you can even throw LeBron in there, because as much as we rag on LeBron,
you go see them play.
Watch him play.
You go see them play.
Go watch him play. So
exactly.
So again, if anyone in Indiana decides, yeah, we're gonna shop her, why would you even shop her in the first place?
When you just drafted her 3 years ago.
Why would you be shocked? Well, why that's a thing is what's linked to the first story that I get, the first clip that I gave you.
Okay.
Why they're shopping her is linked to the first story I gave you, which is from and Snowman. I know you preface it. The minute you mentioned, I was gonna try to go through that whole clip without mentioning who it was from, because he's one of those guys. And look, I like Jason Whitlock. I just like that when he brings a story up. But I like that. All right, he brought a story up. Do I take his word as gospel? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Me neither.
Like you can't because but the thing about Jason Whitlock is Jason Whitlock has worked at ESPN. He has worked at Fox Sports. He was a major part of both of those organizations, and they got rid of him. And they got rid of him for reasons, for multiple reasons. But the biggest reason is because of who Jason Whitlock is. A large black Christian. He is
yes.
That's what he is. He is his faith drives what he does, and you see that in his Fearless podcast, and he talks about it all the time. He talks about how there's media bias. Jason, guess what? You're biased too. I watch your clips. Your faith brings you to bias too. But so that's why I say when Jason brings something up, I always have to ask, and that's why I asked Snowman yesterday. I said, when I saw the story from Whitlock, I was like, all right, let me see what Whitlock's going off about. He goes off about it, and I'm not going to go into the whole diatribe that he went into because it's wild. But the thing that I do when I get stories like this, when I see stories like this from people, and it doesn't matter who it is, it's Whitlock, Stephen A. Smith. Even if I don't agree with Stephen A. Smith, I want to see what he's saying. All right, the first thing I'm going to look at, and the first thing I looked at in that Whitlock clip is, all right, he brought up about the coach, Stephanie White pulling Caitlin Clark from a game where she's shooting three of her first four. They're up 8-2, and she pulls her out of the game. And Stephanie White says, "Oh, that's just normal for us." And I'm like,
what game was this?
How is that normal? This was the Portland game on Sunday.
Oh, okay,
this was Portland on Saturday.
This was Portland. Yeah, the Portland game over the weekend where they were up 8-2, and Stephanie White decides, you know what? Now's the best time to sit Caitlin for the entire first quarter. Yeah, the entire first quarter. They were up 8-2, and then they were down 12 by the time she got back on the court. So that was the first thing. So that was the first thing I had to look at. The first thing I had to look at is what Whitlock said. Is it true? Because we can go back and look at it and say, all right, we can look at this from a million different angles. But the first thing we have to do is verify, is the information correct? And that's why I asked Snowman, because Snowman called the game. He's called multiple Fever games, so I can ask. I have direct access. So I go to somebody who has seen more than I have to say, is this true? Did she pull her? And Snowman said yes. I said, is this normal? And Snowman said, no, that's not normal. That's something different. So that's where I'm like, okay. So Whitlock was telling the truth there. So now I keep going. Now I can keep going with the story because I verified. All right, that's true. Now it gets into the why. Why is this happening? And that's where Whitlock throws things out there that are wild. But then when you couple it with the Dan Dockich clip, you start to go, maybe this is true. And the one thing that Whitlock said is, and his premise of bringing up Stephanie White's benching of Caitlin Clark, and it wasn't a benching, but putting her on the bench when she was doing hot, his whole point was she sabotaged her from the get-go. She was sabotaging her main player. And I was like, that is a wild accusation for a head coach.
Right.
But then when you start to couple it with, they want her out. She's a diva. People in the organization are talking about her. Now it starts to go, huh? Were they actively sabotaging her? Like, were they actively putting her in bad situations? And that's where this all hits a head of. It's all there. It's all right there on the screen for us to watch. And for me, and this is a point that Whitlock didn't get to, what happened, what got me, and what got me to really buy into Whitlock's point of maybe Stephanie White does have a problem with Caitlin Clark is you look at that game on Saturday. Raven Johnson fouls out of the game.
In 11 minutes.
Caitlin Clark had 5 fouls and was in foul trouble the whole game.
Yep.
And I'll ask Snowman, you called the game.
Mm-hmm.
At what point, at any point, did Stephanie White have a conversation with the officials?
You know what?
I didn't see it.
I can answer that. I can answer that question. She did. She had a couple of conversations with officials, but they fell on, and this is me looking at it from my eyes and me calling the game. She did have conversations with officials, but it fell on deaf ears. So she stopped.
Well, I'll tell you that. Will tell you why they fell on deaf ears. Because the type of conversation she was having with those officials, and I will go to one of the greatest women's coaches of all time, and I'll ask you this, Snowman, and I'll probably ask Allie this too.
Okay.
Do you think Pat Summitt would have the same conversation with an official? Do you think she would use the same language Stephanie White was using?
Not at all.
Absolutely not.
Not at all.
She would have been livid if her star player was getting ticky-tack fouls called on her. And one foul. I watched a video. Now, again, this is a short video, so a lot of it was clipped. I watched a play where Caitlin Clark gets called for a foul where she puts her hand straight in the air and doesn't touch anybody.
In fact,
and she got called for a foul on that. And the next play, Caitlin Clark drives the lane, gets crashed to the floor, and no call. Caitlin gets up and is like, "What the hell?" And Stephanie White is sitting there with her arms crossed like this. If I were an Indiana Fever fan, I would be livid. If my coach is not out there, I mean, we talked about this with Jay a couple weeks ago because we were talking about Bobby Cox. Mm-hmm. Bobby Cox would have saved his player there. Would have gone out, dropped a few F-bombs, and got thrown out of that game. And got thrown out of the game protecting his player. Because that's the kind of guy Bobby Cox was. That's the kind of guy Lupino was. That's the kind of guy Bill Parcells is. If you're gonna do something against my best player, I'm going to make sure you hear about it. I'm going to make sure I am in your face about it. No, you don't treat my players that way.
Ozzie Guillen,
same way.
And it's not even whether it's your. I mean, the fact that it's your best player makes it absolutely unacceptable. Like you have to fight for your player. If that's your worst, it doesn't matter if that's your worst player. You see a call go against you on one end and a non-call on the other end, you should be screaming to high hell. No, we're not taking this anymore. And if it takes you getting thrown out of the game, you get thrown out of the game, you leave it in the hands of your assistants, and you say, you know what? I fought for my players, and everyone in that locker room will be behind you.
Hey,
everyone will be behind you if you get thrown out.
Let me ask you this question. In the video that let me ask you this question, Deets. In the video that you watched, what point of the game did you see Stephanie White with her arms crossed after Caitlin gets hit with a foul and then
It
draw
was
no
that. It
foul
was right.
on the other
It
end.
was right after. It was right after that. It was right after the missed shot on the base. Right after she got hit on the arm on the baseline, and Caitlin is running back on defense, tapping her arm, telling the official they hit my arm, and it's clear as day. It's clear as day. You can't miss it. It's clear as day. They hit her. They hit her. She took the shot, and Caitlin actually falls to the floor, thinking, "All right, I'm going to get a foul call." Doesn't get it, and then she's running back, tapping her arm, saying, "I got hit. I got hit." And the camera goes right by the bench, and Stephanie White's literally just standing there like this.
There's
Now,
two other.
they didn't have the time. They didn't have the time or when that was in the game.
Okay,
but but I mean,
that's why I was.
You could see it.
That's why
you
I was
could
asking.
see
That's why
it.
I was asking.
You're missing two other coaches who also went tooth and claw for their players: Steve Kerr and Greg Popovich.
Phil Jackson being another.
Phil Jackson.
Listen, Stephanie, I can confirm a couple things. First of all, Stephanie White does indeed fight for her players. That fiery personality is out there. The calls on Saturday, and I will preface once again, this is from one man's eyes. This is from a set of eyes who called the game on Saturday. It came to a point that let me just say this. The defense on Saturday night was piss poor. Okay. And the referees had a lot to do with that. I'll explain that in a minute. Second of all, Stephanie White did indeed defend her players several times, several hundred times. The cut that you may have caught, and I say may have, because I did the whole game. I didn't look at the highlight package.
All right.
The highlight you may have caught is Stephanie White being so frustrated. And this has happened several times since she's been the coach, especially since Caitlin Clark, since she's Coach Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
The WNBA, in my eyes, has a narrative to destroy Caitlin Clark.
And that's absolutely a thing. And again, that was part of Whitlock. That was part of Whitlock's thing. Was everyone is out? There are people in the organization of the WNBA that are out to destroy her.
Yes.
And
I mean,
and this has been clear. This has been clear. We talked about it we have been talking about this for a year and a half now of piss poor officiating.
Yes.
In this league, and now it's getting documented. And I'm going to toot my own horn here. I said this last year. I said it last year. If you have drama like this, if the WNBA has drama like this, and sports shows are talking about it, and shows like ours are talking about it, that's one thing. When it hits mainstream, when it is hitting mainstream normies that aren't even paying attention to the sport, that are catching up, that are just getting caught up on this. When it hits mainstream, I'm watching mainstream streams on YouTube. People who just talk culture. They don't talk sports. They're not talking sports. They're talking culture. And now they're seeing it and pointing it out. When it hits that big, they have a problem. And we saw this. We saw it last year. What happened last year when this happened? When this happened last year, we had objects thrown on the court.
Yeah. Well,
that's what it led. That's what this is going. That's what this is leading to.
Hold on.
This is leading to another problem.
I have 2 points on this too, because Kelly Greenshields makes a valid point. Is that y'all remember that when they complained about the refs the last time they did this, they all got fined. The other thing is what Allie said last year about where these refs come from. They're volunteers. They're not trained. They're not compensated. And I'm thinking
they're volunteers. They're not getting.
It goes back to, and I said this last year. they're going to mess around and have a Green Bay versus Seattle moment where one bad call changes the game.
The Fail Mary.
Yep. One bad call changes the
and
game.
changes the rules.
And now you have they basically have to force the WNBA's hand to say we need to get either seasoned, experienced referees, or we have to train them.
Well, Snowman brought up a good comparison. A good comparison. I'm more of that fiery person. I want to see somebody, go nuts. So I that's why I go to Bobby Cox. But how many games did Phil Jackson ever get thrown out? Like, Phil Jackson defended his players, but did it in a way that wasn't. He was never like going not like throwing things, going. Phil Jackson was able to keep himself. But he still went out and defended his. He still went out and defended his players by taking an official and saying, "Hey, you're missing calls here. You're missing calls." And he was able to do it without the theatrics, without all of that. So there are ways of doing. There are ways of doing it that don't have to be. You don't have to be flamboyant. But for somebody like me, when I see something like that, I'm throwing everything I can. I'm throwing a fit on the sidelines if my players are getting beaten up. If my players are getting beaten up and Raven Johnson is fouling out of the game and you're not calling any fouls on the other team, we're gonna have issues. We're gonna have issues if I'm losing a player and they're not.
Let me go back to this, because I brought this up last year when we talked about it, and people don't like when I use this word, and they say, "Oh, you need to just quit being a Caitlin Clark stan." No, I'm going to say it out loud. The moment Caitlin Clark was drafted, a conspiracy against Caitlin Clark began, and this falls at the feet of the commissioner, Kathy Engelberg. And we talked about it 2 years ago. We talked about it last year. And Callie brings it up every time she rides shotgun with me on the air. The refs try to control Indiana's games. And there was a clear pattern on Saturday to get Caitlin Clark fouled out. Because, first of all, our defense was piss poor. Okay, let me just say that. Our defense was piss poor. But if you look at the highlights, every time Indiana tried to get back in the game, there was a stupid foul that was called. Okay? There was a stupid foul that was called.
It's been like that since last season.
Wiped out any kind of. The only time where that didn't happen is when Caitlin Clark. Only times, let me pluralize that. It did not happen is when Caitlin Clark was not in the game, i.e., the Connecticut comeback. That's when you saw, I want to say regular officiating, but it's the Indiana fever. There is a thing against Indiana, not just Caitlin Clark, but the Indiana fever. Okay, Callie Greenshields brings up this point. The old guard is not used to all these eyes on the league. That's very true. And you can tell that, and I'll toot Chris's horn here, by a commercial, a vignette featuring Cheryl Swoops. And you see multiple clips of other players, and you only see one of Caitlin Clark. Okay? How and why they didn't prepare for what CC and even the new players are bringing. Absolutely right. Absolutely,
and we've been dancing around this issue. We've been dancing around the issue, and again, say what you want about Jason Whitlock. Say what you want about him. He is not afraid. He was not afraid to say this has been since she was drafted. This was a This was a deliberate attempt to sabotage her. And why? Because she's straight white female.
Yes.
That's it. She is a straight white female. That is why they are attacking. That's why they want to attack her and bring her down at every point they can.
Let
me add a point. Let me add a point to this. Let me add a point to that. Not only is she a straight white female who is with a man and they love each other. Have you seen her post anything with Connor McCaffrey lately? No. I'll tell you why. That conspiracy is still in motion. And it will be in motion until either A, they convert her, or B, they get her out of the league.
Here's the thing. It's also
Jay Spivey says it all. Jay Spivey says it all the time, and it's so true. The race card is being played
all the time
in the W.
Yeah.
And I'll say this.
Yeah,
I'm going to say this. I'm going to ask you guys because you guys know this more than me. What is load management? What is load management for? What is load management used
when
for?
You're
health.
For health.
For health reasons. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing is that it's the difference between when we make fun of like LeBron because LeBron's not injured,
right?
And he still is in street clothes. Yeah, remember CC is coming back from a groin injury that took her out for most of the season.
Look, she's coming back from 3 major injuries.
Yes,
the groin, the knee, and her back. She's coming back from 3 major injuries. She played 33 minutes last night. And Chris, you said it at the top of the season, and I'm so glad you did. Anytime, especially in this season where you can get 30 plus minutes from Caitlin Clark is a win. Not only that, she poured in 17 points last night, 3 of 6 from 3-point land, and she hit a couple of deep ones, which is what everybody wanted to see anyway. And plus 17,674. Let me say that. Give me this camera. Give me this camera. Let me say that number again, Damian, and for all the haters up there. And CC is not getting special treatment, so shut your mouth. 17,674. Caleb Hernandez, absolutely. 17,000. Why? Listen, why Caitlin Clark is so important to the league right now. I'll repeat the number, and then we got to go to a break, and I got to go get some water. 17,674 in attendance last night, equaling a full house.
And because she's
equally, and here's
basketball.
She's only bingo, which is the fourth point. She's only about basketball. I played an interview last night. Before they went on the air. She says we just want to get back to playing basketball. And there were a couple of moments last night during the game where Stephanie Clark and CC they chest bumped each other. They were very close and they were excited, especially during a 7-0 run, which gave Indiana the lead for good in the third quarter.
What did I say as soon as she started having these issues? The reason why is because you cannot attach an agenda to her. You have not been able to message.
We'll talk more about this with Allie coming up.
We'll get Allie in here.
Just to put a bow on this part of the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
You'll notice who they play last night?
Atlanta, Angel Reese,
the Atlanta Dream. You'll notice after Indiana loses to Portland, what was the talk? What was all the talk after? Caitlin Clark can't play defense. Caitlin Clark's defense is so bad. They had Sue Bird and Cheryl Miller commenting on her defense.
Mm-hmm.
Where was the comments on Angel Reese's defense last night?
And I'll put this right now.
Wait. They weren't told. They weren't out there.
I'll put into this right now.
Mm-hmm.
young, old, doesn't matter. Injuries are injuries. Derrick Rose was in here his second, third
Exactly.
season, and he had an ACL injury that took him out for most of the game, for most of his season, and he never came back from it.
Okay.
He was young.
Mm-hmm.
So what we talking about?
Okay,
here?
let me say this. Let me say this to Damian. You know, he's saying CC is young, not old like LeBron or Kawhi. She's only played 3 years in the league. She doesn't need load management. You go through the injuries she went through. Matter of fact, let me put it another way. You go through the injuries that Michael went through. A broken foot.
And he was young
all right.
when that happened.
And they listen, until the playoffs, they load manage the hell out of him. They load manage the hell out of him. Yeah, and
just watch the last dance. Just watch the last dance. The entire first episode is about the load management before the playoffs.
Right.
That's the entire first episode of the last dance.
The year 1986, they load managed the hell out of Michael when he came back from that broken foot. Okay, so Damian, watch your mouth and get your facts straight. We need a break. My producer here is yelling at me. Shane's yelling at me. We're going to a break. When we come back, we have two pretty ladies to welcome. Now I got to go get some water. Snowman in the morning, back in a deuce.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
During bad weather, driving can become downright dangerous.
What's your emergency, please?
Trust Battle Vision Storm, the revolutionary glare reduction glasses that turn your sight bright during bad weather at night or during the day. Watch your ordinary vision become extraordinary. Battle Vision Storm uses light optimizing lenses that block blue rays so you see clearly in heavy rain at night or blinding snow during the day. Heavy rain, snow, sleet, or fog can make it impossible to drive. Not with Battle Vision Storm. Get your Battle Vision Storm for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get your very own at this low price. There is a strict limit of 4 Battle Vision Storm per order while supplies last. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-483-6319 or visit battlevisionstorm.com. So call 1-800-483-6319 now.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy and now begins a future one of matrimony, or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. Because we take this job so serious.
And Father O'Shaughnessy need to go to hell. That's what he needs.
What did Father O'Shaughnessy do?
I quit. We're done here. I'm done. We're out of here.
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning.
I don't know what I was thinking when I made that. We owe you an ID. This is Snowman in the Morning.
Broadcasting live in your region across.
Wait. Wrong one. Let me try that again. We owe you an ID on this fabulous Friday. This is Snowman in the Morning.
Broadcasting live in your region across our nation and around the world. This is Snowman Multimedia.
We need to see. And Father O'Shaughnessy need to go to hell.
It's really, in the end, basically a skill issue.
Here he is back in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Throws to Jesus Christ.
Shut up!
Well, that game sucked.
I'm on Alarm Island. Give me them cocks! Now get out my face, you thirsty bitches.
Now get out of my face, you thirsty bitches.
Now get out of my face, you thirsty bitches. Now get the hell out of my face, you thirsty bitches. That last line, I'm going to get my wife to record it soon. We got a couple people standing by.
Duck your heads. The couch is coming.
Now, here's a familiar face.
Hi, guys.
Oh, I got it. Listen. How you doing?
I'm good. I am home from work for the weekend.
You glad your Friday is over?
There you go.
I said, duck your head. A couch is
Very
coming.
good. So, are we going to see? So, are we going to see you do Marvel Rivals or not? Huh?
When?
This weekend?
Give me a bit of time to think it over.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I obviously need to grind
Now,
to get that Luna Snow racing skin, but
yeah. And I already
they just
called
want
my
to see
daughter
it just
from across
because
the
it's
pond.
racing.
Now,
Dawn wants to see it just because it's
Yep.
racing.
I want to see it, period. Wait a minute. How does where oh, I can't find it. I'll have to find it later. Somebody else is waiting for us.
I knew a couch.
Well, I'll say
couches were coming.
I'll say it out loud. We need to see it. And we need to see this pretty lady.
The fiery winds of the Windy City. Man.
And
Friday.
I owe her a voice, a very familiar voice. Anyone who has been to a stadium in Chicago recognizes this voice when I say, please welcome Allison Moran.
Hey. Great to see everybody, especially you, Empress. It's been a while.
I know.
Yeah.
I have become a working lady, so
yeah, I understand. I too am a working lady. So
I mean, I work 8 to 4 just so I could be here for like the last couple of minutes.
God love you. You are terrific. Gosh, see the loyalty you engender in people, Brian. Do you see that?
Yes. and I love it. And I love it because what makes me love this even more is we're counting down to season 13 on Labor Day. And most of the people that have been involved with this have been with me for the entirety of the show being on the air. The only one is Chris. He's going to enter his 10th season. You've ridden shotgun with me for the entire time, which is incredible. The Empress is here. Victor's my engineer. Victor was my first first engineer when we got started. And look at the people that are popping in. Go ahead, Victor.
There's one ID pack you cut that sounds like a hilarious argument between Jen and Deets just off camera. Is where Deets yells, the blank field. It's not hard. And then right after that, just like, it's basically in the end a skill issue. And I'll give you like,
yeah, that is pretty comical.
Hey, Brian,
And
you have
as usual,
three pretty ladies.
Dietz is just unaffected.
Oh yeah.
Nope.
Dietz
I
brought
got
his
three. I got three
girlfriend today.
ladies.
I heard it.
In actuality,
Lydia.
I love her.
That's Lydia Dietz from
I love
Beetlejuice.
it. No, I recognize her. I love the movie.
I'm sorry, Dietz, but she'll never top my girlfriend.
see, but see, you can actually count 4. The producer that's in my ear here in studio.
Playmaker news. I don't know if this is. This might be true. This is from Playmaker.
Okay, let's talk about it. Bears board of directors has voted to advance the stadium development in Hammond, Indiana.
What
is that breaking?
I borrowed
Now I'm trying to confirm that, but
we're trying to confirm it.
Absolutely confirm it, because there's a hell of a bunch of rumors out there. Make sure you get the right sources, because there's way too much out there. I've seen way too much.
I say I know Playmaker. He does a lot of research on what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Playmaker's one of the best. Playmaker is one of the best in terms of breaking news. So I'm inclined to think this is confirmed. We're confirming it here.
I wouldn't.
And
I wouldn't.
Is up on it. I know the Hammond Mayor is saying that he's pushing for it.
He can push for it all he wants to, but it's going to be the McCaskies that say yes or no.
Yeah.
So I'm playing skeptic.
Who is in charge now that unfortunately Miss Virginia has passed on?
George McCaskey, one of her sons, and
it's still McCaskey. Yeah. Well, we're gonna wait.
Yeah.
We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait on
it.
We're gonna
because there's if AP says it, then I'll believe it.
Okay.
Then if one of the major sources drops that, then we call it a confirmation. Gonna wait on that.
Broke it. He's the news.
Yeah, without actually giving a call to the McCaskies and to Bears headquarters in Lake Forest. And I don't know what they do. You could try it, see what happens. I mean, we are a very legitimate news source here. Yes. So we want to keep our reputation for being a good news source.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Playmaker says Adam Schefter broke it. Oh boy.
Well, we'll see.
I'm still looking.
Adam Schefter says it. Maybe. Maybe.
Speaking of breaking news, the Indiana Fever was allowed to play defense last night. Speaking of breaking news, the referees from Saturday to last night in terms of the Indiana Fever were still piss poor, but the difference is Indiana was allowed to play defense. In particular, what we were talking about at the end of the first hour, Caitlin Clark was allowed to play defense ... freely because she had 2 blocks and 3 steals last night. Should have had a couple more. I don't want to sound like I'm blaming the officials, but I know what my eyes saw from Saturday to last night. And it's a very, very stark difference. Now, I said on Saturday that the Indiana team defense was very poor. I will stand by that. However, and Allie, you know me. Yes, Playmaker, Caitlin Clark plays defense. And Allie, you know me. You know I love watching tape. You've been in a tape watching session with me trying to break things down when we were covering the Sky.
Absolutely.
Every time Caitlin Clark got switched on to Megan Gustafson, a foul was coming.
That's right.
For the sheer height alone. Now I'll give the Portland coaching staff credit. They took Carla. They took Carla Late off of Caitlin Clark defensively, which allowed her to roam around. Every time Caitlin got switched on to Megan Gustafson, there was a foul. And on top of that, Raven Johnson, who was a pest on defense, SEC Defensive Player of the Year, fouled out in 11 minutes.
Right. Yeah. It was a pretty.
Now compare all that to what happened Thursday.
Go ahead.
Well, and you're right, Playmaker. Maybe Stephanie White lit a fire under Caitlin like a coach should. Yes, absolutely she did. Because look at the emotion from Saturday night to last night. The emotion that was missing during the second half of the game at Portland was there the entire night. And the biggest part of it, looking at the game tape, was a 7-0 run to turn a 1-point deficit into a 6-point lead, and then Indiana ran away and hid after that. I've had people ask me, and people ask Dietz as well, is there a conspiracy against Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever? Let me answer that question as I do often. Hell
yes.
Hell. All we heard was hell.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
They're absolutely
is. I'll repeat the answer.
You know, there's a really interesting theory that a Fever fan had written, and I was so impressed with this because it kind of expressed a little bit about what I was thinking about. Is the WNBA even ready for a player like Caitlin Clark, who represents a new era, essentially, of WNBA play? Caitlin Clark, I'll read this directly from this fan. Caitlin Clark exposed the gap between what the WNBA had convinced itself was good enough and what mainstream sports fans actually expect. Fans want skill. They want spacing. They want pace. They want shooting. They want smart coaching. They want fair officiating. They want stars protected. They want basketball that looks modern, intelligent, and entertaining. They did not show up to watch Caitlin get grabbed, held, shoved, bumped, and treated like every possession needs to become a wrestling match in the name of physicality.
He was saying that for a while too.
I totally agree.
Exactly.
You want proof of the conspiracy? Go look at who the league is promoting right now. Look at what the league is out there promoting. They're promoting Caitlin Clark can't play defense. Caitlin Clark is a menace to her team. Meanwhile, look who they're promoting. Paige Beckers.
Paige Beckers.
They're promoting Paige Beckers so much, and when she loses, don't worry about that. It's the Dallas Wing. Don't look over there. But when the Indiana Fever lose, Caitlin Clark is the worst thing to ever happen to basketball.
It's like I think there's a couple of theories around that. Number one is that Paige Beckers is the new shiny item. And you always want to go with the new shiny item. The other thing is that Paige Beckers also represents that new modern era of player. And the problem is that this is a league that clings to old habits. And they are, I mean, we saw that with the negotiations that went on forever with the CBA. We saw that in the way that She exposed the officiating in the game and all of its gaps and flaws, and the fact that it was literally the minor league of NBA officiating, and they haven't done anything to really mitigate that or make it better that I've seen in this season.
Well, I'll ask you, Snowman. Let's look at this.
Yes.
What's the difference between Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark? What's the difference?
Two differences.
You said it before. You said it before break. You said it before break. You said it before break. What's the difference? They're both white. They're both young. They're both the faces of the league. What's the difference?
Yeah, I'll say it aloud.
Paige Beckers has a girlfriend who plays for her team. Caitlin Clark is married to McCaffrey. That's the difference. That is the difference between the two, and that is why they're treated different. There's no gray area around it. They're all everything else is the same. There's one thing different.
Well, except that they're gay. Except that Paige Beckers is gay.
Paige Beckers has a girlfriend, and Caitlin Clark is married to a man. That's it. That's the list of differences. One is treated. One is put on a pedestal and treated different. The other one, everything that happens is her fault, and it's slammed. She can't play defense. She's a menace to the team. She got the coach fired. Meanwhile, Paige Beckers skates on. Hey, this was brought up in one of the things I was watching the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Paige Beckers got AZ Flood drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
The Dallas Wing drafted AZ Flood when they should have drafted the girl from UCLA. The girl from TCU who just hit 11 3-pointers the other night. They had chances to draft all of these guys. No, they took AZ Flood to satisfy Paige Beckers. When Dallas loses, it's not Paige Beckers' fault. It's not Paige Beckers' fault. Nope. When Indiana loses, it's Caitlin Clark's fault, and that's it.
I try my best.
Now you ask the question why? Why does that happen? You go through all the lists. There's only one difference. There's only one difference between them, and you can't look away from it.
You can't. You can't. I mean, for a long time last year, they asked Caitlin Clark, is Connor gonna show up? And Connor's an assistant coach right now, and he's on his recruiting trips.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't they ask the same thing? Well, they don't ask the same thing about Paige Beckers because AZ Foot's right there.
Right.
Okay. And I understand. And I get that. But still, when that difference became a glaring fact, that glaring fact, I beg your pardon, was put out in the public eye, they did it slowly. All right. They saw a couple times Connor McCaffrey be with Caitlin Clark on the way in. And my conspiracy theorist mind think, okay, they're trying to flip her. And she ain't buying it. All Caitlin Clark wants to do is to play basketball, and it pisses him off.
Well, it's like I said,
and I'm glad.
It's like I said a while ago. Caitlin Clark does not have an agenda you can attach to her.
Correct.
And that bothers people. And it really shouldn't be about agendas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that most people do. I'm not saying the players themselves attach it to themselves, but the media can't attach an agenda to her, and it upsets them, and that's why they're trying to kind of push Cece out of the limelight. Is don't worry about her because she's just regular. These people are more unique. They're more faster. They're this. They're that. And I'm like, but we're here to watch, as what Al said. We're here to watch smart defense,
basketball,
smart coaching, We're here to watch basketball at a fundamental level. I'm sorry I'm cursing, but I'm going to say it again. Basketball at a
I'll say it.
fundamental level.
I'll say it. Fundamentals.
Yeah.
I would say it's like you just want a steak. You don't need the sizzle. You just want a steak. That's sometimes. You just
Mhm.
want a steak.
But that's why that's why you see things, you see all these reports, and then you get, and we're going to go back to what we were talking about at the beginning. You go back to the Dan Zakich tape of sources inside Indiana want to get rid of her.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Is it because she's bad for the box office? Absolutely not. She's the best thing for the box office. So why else would they want to get rid of her? Why else would they be creating her as, hey, Caitlin Clark is the issue here, not anybody else?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's ask Allie. Allie,
why?
Why do you think that would be the case?
I don't see it that way. I genuinely don't believe in the in conspiracies, except for the fact that Caitlin Clark is such a unique player, and a player that has had both a lot of luck and a lot of just more talent in her little finger than half the people that she's played with. So to my mind, I don't believe in a conspiracy theory. I cannot get on board with that, because this is a game that requires teams to stand together. This is there's also such a serious officiating gap within. As we've said, there is such an issue with how the officiators officiate the game that I think that it's more incompetence than anything else. If you want to know, I don't think they're smart enough to hatch a plan, and I don't think they're smart enough to band together against one player. I think that within this, there's within the Indiana Fever, there was a lot of tension coming back with Caitlin, and trying to figure out how to use her in a team that figured out how to win without her. Now what? There's Caitlin Clark also getting her own bearings back. We talked a couple of weeks ago about how her body is just regaining its confidence right now. Now, I give her a lot of credit for doing a couple of things. Number one, after puking at halftime last night against the Dream, she went ahead and scored 17 points in the second half and brought the Fever out of their 2-game losing streak. You cannot discount her incredible love for this game, for the passion that she brings to it. The Fever themselves had an air clearing, an almost 2-hour meeting a couple of days ago after this blow up last Saturday night, and where you could see a whole lot of, all we needed to see was that, and it would have probably been complete, but the body language was tense and fierce. But the entire team got together, the air clearing occurred, and the thing that happened was the win against the Atlanta Dream. So you've got to remember that this is a game of great passion. It's a game that everybody loves. They're in I would say, another growth period for the WNBA. This is their growing pains, where they need to make some stands against what the WNBA was.
Right.
And
well, that's right. That's right. That's right, Allie. And we've it's like I said before. When you have sports shows talking about the WNBA or WNBA shows talking about the WNBA, that's fine.
That's what I fought for 14 years, big guy.
But when it starts hitting normie shows, normies on YouTube are pointing it out. When it gets to a point where people are starting to go, wait a minute, there were 13 missed calls on one player in one game, and they're pointing out every single missed call, and it's not a sports person. This is normie people. That's when the WNBA has a problem. The WNBA has to notice this is a big problem. Now, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Brian in the first hour. Allie, as far as Stephanie White's concerned, if there were 13 missed calls against one player on her team, do you think Pat Summitt would take that lion down?
Oh, hell no. And Pat Summitt would have fought every single one of them. She would have been at the refs for the officials 14 times. And she would, she would have gone after them not only during, she would have gone after them afterwards. And how dare you do that to my balls? How dare you? How could you?
Absolutely. And that was my point from the first hour of, like, that's what got me is, like, I'm watching her get fouled, and there's nothing. There's no screaming. There's no anything like that. That's what kind of tells me she knows, like, and this was the comment by Jason Whitlock that Stephanie White, she's aware of, all right, there's an agenda against Caitlin Clark. This is just what we have to deal with. Like, because she's like, all right, they missed the foul call on her. Like, that's what these officials are going to do, because she knows it. She's in on it.
It goes back to
she's aware of
a point. It goes back to a point that I made earlier in the first hour. From my eyes, and I call all the Fever games, she may be just all screamed out because this happened last year. It's happened at the top of this year. We're 8 games in, so you may just see Coach White resign. You didn't see it last night. I'll give you that. You didn't see it last night, but second half of the Portland game, Stephanie White was just resigned to know that Raven Johnson was going to have foul calls against her, Caitlin Clark against her, and against her players that weren't allowed to play defense the way they played last night at home against Atlanta. Okay. But I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at this through a rose-colored prism at times because I do cheer on the team, but at the same time, I'm looking at this as fair as I can. It just seems to me that Stephanie White is all screamed out about the officiating. And it goes back to Allie's point about the officials need to be in an academy,
They need to be trained.
learning the league. Thank you. They need to be trained. They need to be in an academy, learning the sport, number one. Number two, learning the game. And three, and most importantly, and this is from a former official, learning the rules.
It's
because
that goes back to the point we were making earlier, and I'm sure Allie can touch on this because I'm sure she saw it a lot in Chicago. there are different ways to talk to the officials. So one of them is screaming and yelling. The other one is Phil Jackson. The other one is Chicago coach Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson could talk to the officials and tell them in mean words, but sound nice about it. Like, you don't have to be screaming and yelling, but you do have to have the conversation of, you missed that call. You missed that. My player is getting absolutely destroyed. We're missing out on 3-point. We're missing out on 3-point opportunities because you're missing these calls. You need to, and Phil was great. Phil was great at getting his point across without having to be screaming and yelling. Then there's Bobby Cox who will drop an F-bomb every other word, and you'll know when he's upset. Like, there's two different ways to do it.
And there was also Doug Collins.
Oh yeah, Doug was in the Phil Jackson mode, if I'm recalling. But
there was also Doug Collins. Doug Collins was both. He was both the screaming and yelling mode.
Doug would scream and yell. Doug would scream his head off.
Here's the other thing, as I said before, especially when it comes to referees, if they're not careful, you're going to get a Hail Mary in the WNBA. You're going to get Green Bay versus Seattle when they had the scab referee.
2012. 2012. Let me read this comment from Playmaker. Stephanie White has to be smart. Stephanie White has to be smart because she can't get ejected. Stephanie is a fiery coach. Stephanie is indeed a fiery coach.
Very fiery.
And she cannot get ejected because
there are times you can get ejected. Like, people that say that, oh, you can't get ejected. You can get ejected. Like, as a coach, as a manager, as a player. I mean, go back in the day. Lou Piniella used to get ejected from games because his team was playing bad and they needed a turnaround. And what was the turnaround? He would go out and argue. The guy could be out by 12 feet. He would go out and argue the call just to get himself ejected. Like, that was a strategy. It was a strategy. It was just we need something to light a fire under these guys. So he would get ejected, and you know what the players would do? They would go into the locker room and shake his hand and say, "Good job, coach."
I think it's also in the situation when it comes to with baseball, it's a little bit different.
Let me read this.
You either have.
Let me read this comment from
because you either have someone basically saying, "Hey, I got to keep my player in the game, otherwise they're in danger of getting ejected."
Yeah,
and that's when the manager has to step in.
Yeah.
So,
right.
So that could be
right.
That could be the same.
Let me read this comment from. Let me read this comment from Jamar Moore, and I have a response for him. The comment reads as follows: "Quote: Stephanie White screams plenty, just not for her superstar." I have a response. I have a simple response to that, and it goes like this: Stephanie White doesn't scream for her superstar. Watch closely. Watch very closely. And it leads me.
I think that's another problem. That's a big problem with Stephanie White, and now all of her, when this whole thing blew up on Sunday and Monday, now people are going back and looking at Stephanie White's career, and I talked about this a little bit yesterday. What's her legacy at Vanderbilt? Her legacy at Vanderbilt is they had to cancel the season because 6 players quit. They quit the team. Not even quit the team. They left the school. They left. These are college athletes that left school because they said they went Mike Singletary. Stephanie White, can't work with her. Can't do it. And they left. They left the entire program, and they had to cancel the rest of the season because they didn't have enough players.
just like Cheryl Swopes
Couldn't field a team.
at Loyola, I think it was, wasn't it? All of her teams, all of her players hit the portal because of her abusive style. And you know, the thing is, this is Stephanie White's second time coaching the Fever, and I have mixed feelings about her. I think that she has done an amazing job of bringing the Fever back to life. I think that that she has been under a hell of a microscope for quite some time because of Caitlin Clark. And I'm wondering if the pressure isn't getting to her. I think that I think there might be an issue there. I think I doubt that she's ever going to quit, because she's not that type of a person to quit. You know, she'll go to the end. What I think that might be extremely helpful is to think of it this way, that she's in need of an adjustment to the new way in which the league is being stocked with players who have the skill level that's up to NBA standards, the training that they've had prior to joining the WNBA. The footwork is better, the shooting's better, the spacing's better, basketball IQ is so much better. The thing is that you've got coaches, not just Stephanie White, but those who have come out of this WNBA system. And the system needs to improve. I don't think it's just Stephanie White that needs to improve their system. Let's take a lesson from Becky Hammon of the Las Vegas Aces. She had 2 years with the NBA. With was it 2 years or longer? Yeah, with the Spurs, and
with Greg
so
Popovich.
with under Greg Popovich, you know. Go Spurs. And the thing is that she learned a different way of coaching in those years from Popo. She had, I think she brought a lot of NBA to the Aces. And I don't think you can discount that as to her success, her ability to manage players, the way that she makes comebacks. I think that it would be extremely good to draw from those NBA experiences, because they've been a professional league for a long time. This is the first renaissance that the WNBA has ever had, really, of players that are NBA caliber, not just WNBA caliber, but
NBA caliber.
Say that again. Say that again, Brian.
So what'd you say?
I think he's frozen.
Yeah,
he might have frozen.
Yeah,
can you guys see me now?
Allie, to what you were saying about defense, we saw that on Sunday night. How many times do we see Raven I mean, anybody who goes one-on-one against some, you're gonna look foolish most of the time. Team defense is about, hey, I'm gonna funnel this person into the rest of my players. When you're one-on-one with somebody, there's none of that. And we saw Raven foul out. We saw Caitlin pick up five fouls on that. And then what did we see last night? Last night we saw a lot of traps, a lot of help defense. So there was a lot more of that, and maybe that's hey, picking it up. But we'll have to see as the game goes forward. Is this a problem? Are they going to play more of that one-on-one defense, or are they going to play more of that team defense? Because the team defense seemed to work.
Well, it's like you guys said, it's a long
Let me read this. Let me read this here. Cheryl Reeves gave Olivia Miles the keys, yet a generational superstar is being treated like a role player. I don't think that's the case.
I don't know if that's the case. All I would say is that I think what Stephanie White is going to have to adjust to is that there is a bit more scrutiny when it comes to fever games. There's a bit more scrutiny. There's a bit more. It's a bit tighter of a hand on the whistle than on most games. We've seen with a couple other games where the whistle hardly ever gets blown. And then there's one, and you go back to what happened in the finals. What was it in the finals last year? Snowman, you called it when Aaliyah Boston got fouled, and that turned the game
semifinals
into the Vegas Aces' favor.
Right.
We saw it then.
Mm-hmm. That was Aaliyah's sixth. I go back to this. I go back to this, and I will stand by this until I go 6 feet under. Aaliyah Boston's sixth foul was a phantom foul. If they do not call that sixth foul on Aaliyah Boston, Indiana runs away in overtime.
Yep.
In Las Vegas.
That's fair.
You speak of Aaliyah Boston.
Stand by that. And
where was the criticism of Aaliyah Boston on Sunday? Or on Saturday? On Sunday after the game in Portland, where she played the entire game and had 8 total points. Where is the criticism of Aaliyah Boston? Oh wait, no, it was because Caitlin Clark can't play defense. That's why they lost. They lost because Caitlin Clark can't play defense, not because Aaliyah Boston only provided 8 points.
Well, we've seen this movie a couple times before. Not because we said it last night, Snowman. We said it last night when Sophie Cunningham hit a 3-pointer, and what did I say in the comments? Hey, they finally realized Sophie's on the team. Yeah.
Saturday, they didn't give her the ball. They didn't give the ball to Sophie Cunningham when she was on the court.
And I did ask if Sophie was injured. I did ask if Sophie was injured because they did not give her the ball.
You did. You did.
Like I said,
she did not take one shot. It seemed like to me she didn't take one shot in that game on Saturday, and yet she banged home a free early on Thursday.
Like I said, we've seen this movie before where the main star will either get the lion's share of the credit or the lion's share of the blame, and usually it's never an equal measure.
That's right.
And just to add a little spice to this conspiracy that I'm watching for the rest of the year to see what's going on. Where was the game? Where was the game last night? Was it on national TV? Was it on Prime?
Indianapolis.
No, it was not. It was local. It was localized. It was localized.
So it was not.
It was localized coverage. What? Where was the game? Where was the game? Where was the game played? Where was the game broadcast on Saturday? It was a national broadcast. Sue Bird, Cheryl Miller were in the studio. They were in studio breaking it down. So we'll have to see. Was this? Oh, this game's not nationally reported. All right, we can kind of let it play out. When the game's nationally televised, we got to make Caitlin look bad. We can't let Caitlin go off on national TV.
Saturday night against the Liberty, it's a CBS broadcast.
And I'm surprised.
And I'm going to be watching. And Deeps, thank you for that point.
Hold on, I'm surprised it wasn't televised because it's once again CC versus Angel. That's been the battle they've been propping up as like Jordan versus Bird or Jordan versus Magic. They've been propping up
It's
DC versus Angel, and yet you don't put it out again. You don't put it out on national.
No. Victor, you're looking at the players. It's Indiana versus Atlanta. No, nobody's putting that game on national TV up against a Stanley Cup final. They're not doing that.
No, that is a problem. With the especially those particular teams in the NHL. Yeah,
if that's Indiana versus Chicago, if that's Indiana versus Chicago, Caitlin versus Angel, it would be on national it would be a national broadcast. It's not national broadcast because Atlanta's not a market. Atlanta's not a market like that. It's just not.
Neither is Indiana.
And both times,
we rarely see that. We
both
always see
both times last year.
not team versus team. We more see whenever it's been
both times
promoted as player versus player. Michael versus Bird. Michael versus Magic. Kobe versus AI.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
As team as LA and Philly, or you do say as LA and Boston because that's rivalry as a whole.
But again, it's market versus market, and not only that, the Atlanta Braves were playing last night, so Atlanta's going to be split. Atlanta, you're even if everybody from the Atlanta Dream fans are watching that game, that fan base is split because half of them are going to be watching the Braves, half of them are going to be watching the Dream.
That is true.
Like Atlanta is like, and Atlanta's run by the Braves. You can ask Jay Spivey. Atlanta's run by the Braves.
Yeah.
The Braves run Atlanta.
That's fair.
Absolutely. Let me
Since the Atlanta Hawks
read
or
this
the
final
Falcons
comment
can't run
from
them.
the Playmaker.
Go ahead, Snowman.
Basically. From Playmaker, he says, Deets, when it comes to scheduling, the WNBA sucks at that as a league. That's not a conspiracy. That's a fact. And I agree. Because you have that competition.
I'm not going to disagree with that.
No.
We've said it all the time. Their scheduling sucks. I'm talking about the play on the court.
Yeah.
Last night the game was called fine. Let's see what happens Saturday. Let's see what happens Saturday when the game is on national television, and we got what? It's on CBS. You got Sue Bird and Cheryl Miller. Let's see what happens when they're in studio breaking it down. Let's see how the game is called then, and see what the narrative is, and then we'll be able to find out.
Then it goes. I hate the NBA.
Yep, it's a CBS call. It is CBS that has the call. It's Paramount Plus that has the call, and it's me that will have the correct call on Saturday night. And we got to get the heck up out of here. Allison Moran joining us as she does every Friday. Had a blast with you as always, my dear. Thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate you and we love you, and we'll see you next Friday.
Love you too. Have a great week, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, Allie.
Thank you, Allie.
And with that, we got to scram. Game 2 of the NBA World Championship Series tonight. Knicks and Spurs from San Antonio. Yours truly will have the call. And yes, I will be in a shirt and tie from here on out with every play-by-play call. Have a great weekend. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they are simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We hope y'all are too. And Lydia's doing the same thing. So long, everybody.
Bowie Knife 99, you a bitch.
I wonder where the
Snowman
I
versus.
wonder where the
tomorrow
dog
night.
went the last hour.
I was listening.
Yes.
Snowman versus.
Lurking.
I know where dog went. Nah,
did I
I know where dog went.
I'm on Alarm Island. Give me them cocks.
We're out of here. See you Monday.